it will train itself, but it will bring one-to-one tutoring to your school. That is how schools are evolving to ensure every student in your school learns and nobody is left behind just because the teacher was teaching 40 students and 3-4 students did not understand. That's the fourth level of AI. The last one. The last one is transformation. How many of you are running schools in small towns? In small towns, the biggest issue is you do not get teachers who are skilled. Yes?
Yes.
So for example, if you are from Punjab, your students are talking in Punjabi at home. If you are from Haryana, they will be talking Haryanvi, Rajasthan Hindi, UP Hindi. And then they come to an English medium school and struggle. Students are also talking in Hindi. Teacher is also talking in the mother tongue. You do not have skilled English speaking teachers in your school, but you can hire an English speaking AI tutor in your school. And they can teach your students spoken English. Similarly, if you prepare your students for IIT, JEE, NEET, you don't have teachers who can teach at that level. But you can hire an AI tutor who can then help your teacher teach. So transformation is about now it is possible to teach and learn skills that were earlier impossible with human teachers. So those are the 5 levels of AI evolution. You have to be honest with yourself and see which level are you on. Are you at level 1? Give me a thumbs up who are at level 1. No shame, we're all a community of learners. If you are honest about where you are, then you can create a path of where you need to be. How many of you level 1? Level 2?
Somewhere between that, the distribution option between that. 1 and 2, yeah. So not fully AI, but not status quo either.
Okay, 1.5. Okay, somewhere 1.5. How many 2? Most of you. Is anyone at 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I would love to see what projects and AI-led operational efficiency you are driving in your school. Anyone level 4? 5? Okay. My invitation to you, in the next 3 years, make a plan to get to level 5. Because that's inevitable. All schools who go on this AI evolution will thrive, will grow, will be successful. Those who continue to be at level 1 or even level 2 will struggle. And it's not like it's going to happen slowly. It is already happening. While we are sitting in this room, your students and your parents are already experimenting with AI. So when they come to a school which is at level 1, they think it is anachronistic, it is old, it is not relevant. You don't want your school to be irrelevant. You don't want your school to be old. You want your school to be preparing the students for future, and you cannot do it without making a plan to move to level 5. Good? Does it make you nervous? A little bit? It's good if it's making you nervous because that means you will go back and take action. If you're like, hum theek hai, then I'm worried. Okay, so we spoke about AI. The second change is NCF 2023. When NCF 2023 came and I started training people and talking to people, they were like, बहुत policies आई हैं पहले भी. So NCF 2005 भी आया था, कुछ नहीं हुआ. Remember there was those conversations. But now if you see, there is a clear intent in bringing about the change. Now, before we get into all the notifications, I thought it would be good if I tell you what is the intent, what is the government or the policy makers trying to achieve. There are 3 big objectives. Once you understand these objectives, you will start to make sense of NCF 2023. What's the first objective? Very clearly stated. We want India to move from rote learning to real understanding, to conceptual understanding, and to application. Why? If you look at it, in the last 60 years, every year there is a Nobel Prize announced for science. Yes, innovation, physics, chemistry, bio. How many Indians have won it? We're the second largest country in the world. And we're much behind in innovation. If you look at billion-dollar startups, I can count the billion-dollar startups in India on my fingers, but if you compare it with China and US, we are nowhere in comparison. We are very good in providing IT services, Infosys, TCS, this, that. But we are much behind in bringing out innovation. And innovation will not happen if our students continue to do rote learning. It will not happen. So that's the one big objective. That is why, what is the government doing? They are changing the assessments. Because they know if I change assessments, schools will be forced to teach. Because exam हमें सबको clear करना है, right? So schools will be forced to change the pedagogy, change the approach. CBSE is moving towards more than 50% competence-based exam. This year also a lot of people are struggling with the board exams. It is only going to go further towards competence and application. Now, it's great that you have a good curriculum, you are preparing your students, but that's not true for a lot of schools. So that's the first objective, and that's why the assessment structure has changed. The second objective is that the government does not want the coaching industry to grow at the expense of stress. And the number of suicides that are happening in Indian students, especially in teenagers, is increasing. So government wants to curb down the stress of exam and wants to curb down coaching and wants to ensure all learning can happen in the school. That's why they are now introducing the standard advanced stage. Their hope is that students who study at the advanced stage don't need extra coaching, can be ready for competitive test prep. But what does that mean for us? Will our teachers be able to teach at the advanced stage? They will need additional capability building. Do we have the curriculum yet? Not yet, but once we get, we will have to ensure that we change our school rhythm to give options to students for standard and advanced. That's a big change that is coming. And the third one is, if you look at the subjects that have been introduced, there is a clear intent to make our curriculum relevant. So, for example, art and physical education is becoming compulsory. Vocational education has been introduced from grade 6. In grade 9, individual and societies is being introduced. In grade 10, environmental studies is being introduced. Why? Because all these subjects are relevant for today's world. AI literacy is getting added from grade 1 onwards. So what does that mean? It means that the way we used to structure our curriculum and our timetable will need to get changed. Now, once you understand these three things, now you can start to figure out, okay, so what change do I have to make in my school over the next 1, 2, 3 years to ensure that I am fully compliant and ahead of the game as far as NCF 2023 related changes are concerned. I can promise you that as long as we are your partners, this is our main job to empower you to and equip you with everything that you need to be ahead of the game as far as NCF 2023 is concerned. Any new curriculum, any new assessment, any new standard advanced level, we'll be there to provide. I just need all of you to be ready and open-minded to absorb those changes and implement it in your schools. So that's the second change. The third one. You know, when I was a kid, parents used to think school is a temple and teachers are gurus. Nowadays, parents think I'm paying money and I'm buying education. So if I'm paying my money, why are you not answering my question? Like that relationship between school, teacher, and parent is broken. Do you relate to this?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is this happening? I think it is happening because in 1999, with the advent of internet, and after that in 2015 with the mobile phones, information now is in everybody's hands. Parents actually are researching and reading and studying and figuring out before they come to the school. It might be half-baked knowledge, but you know, right? They say a little information is a dangerous thing, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So they will read something and say, "Ma'am, आप ये क्यों नहीं कर रहे? आप ये क्यों नहीं कर रहे?" Have you had those instances? So on one hand, awareness is increasing amongst parents. Unfortunately, on the other hand, our own standards of teaching, our own standard of teaching and teachers are going down. Teacher education, no, if you look at over the last 20, 30 years, the BEd program, there has been no transformation. So while the teaching standards have gone down, parent awareness has gone up, and this is creating a gap between parent expectation and our teachers. And ultimately, I mean, let's look at things that we do. We send our teachers for admission door to door. So if a parent has interacted with the teacher for sales and marketing, it is going to be difficult for them to respect the teacher as a guru. We give our teachers phone numbers, ask them to get added on WhatsApp group. There is no boundary on personal and professional life. Even 8 p.m. parents reach out to teachers. Where is dignity and respect? So urgent and critical. Don't allow your parents to walk into the schools without appointment. Don't call your teachers out of the classroom at your whims and fancy. Have a reward and recognition program for your teachers. And in the school, create a culture of teacher dignity and respect. If you don't, very hard for parents to respect. And as much as possible, let your words speak, let your work speak. Call the parents to your school for student-led movements and student-led conferences. Don't send your teachers door to door for sales and marketing. Send your teachers to school for student orientation. I run 4 schools in Maharashtra. Every year, the teacher visits the school student at home. It's called a student home visit. Her purpose is to go to the home, see the student's environment, like whether they have dada dadi at home or parents at home. Do they have a dedicated study area? Do they have a room? Or they're all in the living room? They go figure it out and they come back. So then next time when they walk into the classroom, they have some background understanding of each student in their classroom. That's a great idea of a teacher, doing a home visit. But if a teacher is going just to drive admissions, it will create a long-term problem. I know all of us want enrollments. I'm saying there are a lot of better ways to drive enrollments versus choosing your teachers in the line of fire. Because it will have that impact of parents and students not respect. Second idea, your parents actually, even though they are changing attitude, what they want is the best for their child, maybe in their own way, but they want the best for their child. How do you create a culture of your school together with your parents? So once you have a idea of the kind of culture you want in your school, have small group discussions with your parents to enroll them into that vision. We set up 2 schools recently and we said the culture we want in our school is greatness with goodness. I'll give you an example. You can have a different culture. Greatness with goodness meant everybody will pursue excellence. Whatever you do, try to do your best. That is greatness. And goodness is be kind and be humble. This is what we want. So we are going to talk to students to build this culture. We're talking to teachers to build this culture. We're also talking to parents to build this culture and see what kind of behavior is greatness with goodness, what kind of behavior is not. These crucial conversations are very, very helpful in creating the right culture to the parents. And then you will not have, or you will have less of the parent attitude problems. Because the change is coming. Parents are going to become more aware. If you want to take back the narrative, if you want to take back the charge, you will have to first create a vision of teacher dignity and respect and enroll parents in it. If you do these 3 things, which is first make a choice to move towards level 5 of AI evolution. Second, ensure that you are up to date and prepared to implement all the changes coming from NCF 2023. And third, enroll your parents on building a strong school culture. Then you can get a step ahead of all the changes that are coming your way. If you insist on continuing to do things the way were, things will continue to get worse because the change is not going anywhere. So choose one step this week and get started because the cost of staying where you are is very high. Thank you. Now, we can have 5-10 minutes of any questions that people have because I've shared some material which might be new to you. If you have any questions, something I said did not make sense or was not clear, please ask so that we can walk away from this session with 1 or 2 ideas in our minds what we will do. Hello.
Hello, I'm Nidhi Sharma from LKC Honey. I love the program that you have, student home program. So I was just wondering, how do you take it in the other wellness, greatness to goodness?
Greatness with goodness.
Greatness with goodness. So if the student home program, like how many students are covered in a month, or
Sure.
are they really welcome when you reach home? Because I had started it years back, and a point came when there was a more of a negative impact to it.
Okay. Maybe I'll just give you spend 2 minutes. In the primary section, it is a mother-teacher concept. So every teacher has 40 or 35 students. So essentially, in the beginning of the session, because teachers typically come a week before summer vacations end, and they are in the school about 3 days after the summer vacation starts. So when the annual session starts, the teacher makes her home visit calendar. She would, over the 3 month period from April to July, she has to cover the 40 students. She makes the home visit calendar. Then she calls up the parents and come. What we found was students were very excited. Okay, my teacher has come to my house. You know, for young kids, it's very exciting. Okay, somebody has come to my school because they only see the teacher in a school environment. But when the teacher comes home, there is a barrier which gets broken, and the student feels very good. For the parent, actually, it is very powerful that the school is not just interested in our money, and our child is not just a roll number for them. They see that the school is really concerned. They are wanting to understand my student, because after the home visit, what the teacher does is she prepares a very simple summary, which is what are the things I learned about Shaurya, for example, if she went to Shaurya's house. What are the things I learned about Shaurya? How am I going to use it in my teaching? That's it. So that simple note is also shared with the parents. So then the parents start to see value in this. So that's what we do in the student home visit. Greatness with goodness, actually, if you leave aside the slogan, you have to decide what your school's culture should be. But my only request is, don't decide on the culture and put it like a poster on the wall. Because when you put on a poster on the wall, after the first 2 times, it becomes part of the wall. Unless you have a crucial conversation, like sitting with students and saying, okay, what does greatness mean to you? And some people will share. And then you share, this is what greatness means, this is how it shows up in behavior. What does goodness mean to you? They will share. Then you tell them, this is what goodness means, this is how it shows up in behavior. Then you put posters of behaviors of goodness, behaviors of not goodness. And then you make essential agreements with the student that we will have these behaviors, not have these behaviors. If the student is demonstrating those behaviors, give them a badge. If they are demonstrating the not good behaviors, call them aside. So then culture becomes part of your school action. That's how you bring it to life. Yes, behind. Teacher,
I was just wondering what does the teacher do different at home to come back to say this is what I've learned about Shaurya, right? So what does the teacher do different when she visits the school, well, at the home, or what kind of questions she has to come back with knowing more about the particular child?
see, in life, essentially there is be, do, and have. What I mean is, you need to be a certain kind of person so that you do certain kinds of behaviors, so that you have certain kind of results. Yeah, this framework, please remember, in anything in life it works, whether you are looking at your relationship as a husband or a teacher or a principal, whatever. So the most important thing is for the teacher to be curious and wanting to understand about the child. She is not going there to evaluate. She is not going there to market. She is going there as a curious person who wants to understand the student better. Once you are curious, when you go there, the conversation will come from curiosity. कि अच्छा सुबह ये उठता है, कौन खाता है, कब उठता है, तैयार कैसे होता है, स्कूल कैसे जाता है, स्कूल से आके क्या करता है, दोपहर को सोता है कि नहीं सोता है, पढ़ता कहाँ पे है, खेलना किसके साथ है, इसको होमवर्क में कौन हेल्प करता है. Once you understand this, you will know, does the child have home support or no? And if the child has home support, who is the key person? Sometimes parents are not, it is grandparents. So then in the PTM, you want those people to come. It's a whole thing that gets completed once you're curious. Yes, ma'am.
Great, sir. It was a great session listening to you.
This time in our school, myself reversing from Saudi Public School. This time in our school, we are going to implement the language labs using effectively using the textbook that is a product of Lean. Do you think that this is a step towards pedagogy, like we are using AI in order to correct the language inefficiency in a student? Do you think it is steps towards the pedagogy that is involving the AI in shaping the better language in a student?
Yeah, so textbook is a great example of level 4 because what it does is it does two things. One is uh, in addition to the teacher teaching, it brings virtual reality into the classroom so that helps understand better. But then it also has adaptive practice, which is one-on-one. So if you are not aware about textbook, it has something called Pi, and Pi works with each student individually, not as one to many. So that's where AI is being used to improve pedagogy. Two more questions, if there's a yes.
Hello, sir. This is Nirvin from Gurukul International School, Devas. Sir, over past few months, we have been working on a new school, a new branch of Gurukul Academy. And over there, we have implemented several new applications of AI to a point where everything, including education, is monitored by AI. We have set up special labs. We have got a complete software built right from scratch for our kids. Me being also a co-founder at Dignify International, which is a development firm, so I have a lot of background in AI. One thing that I observed recently was that whenever we talk about this new technologies with parents, especially after smart boards and projectors, the thing that happens is it almost seems gimmicky. Parents don't
Limiting.
gimmicky.
Gimmicky.
Parents borderline think that this is just a marketing step.
Yeah.
So how do we tackle that?
I think the AI technology is ahead of our understanding of AI at this point because it is moving at such a fast pace that our pace of understanding is not able to keep up. I mean, I also sometimes struggle because every week there is one more step, one more leap that AI has taken, and then sometimes you feel like, can I just catch my breath? So I think what is also happening is that there is so much of stuff happening around AI. Parents are also struggling to distill what is really beneficial for their student and what is gimmick or just hawa or just marketing. So just as we train and teach our students, we will have to do the hard work of training and teaching our parents. But what I have found is that once they start to see the benefit, like for example with textbook in Pi, or we just launched an AI tutor called Miss Curie. Miss Curie is teaching students spoken English. Because one problem with, like for example, I don't know whether in Devas that problem exists, but definitely in a lot of small towns, that at home everybody is talking in mother tongue. But if you're talking in mother tongue, how do you learn mother tongue? You learn mother tongue by observing your parents talking mother tongue and mimicking, right? But there is nobody talking in English from whom you can mimic. So how will you learn spoken English? So Miss Curie talks to the student and gently corrects, but it is a conversation partner, which is not available at home, which is not available in school. So then within 3 months, students are able to speak in English. Once you have that proof, then the giving part goes away. But before that, it is hard for them to believe. Last question. Anyone? Nobody behind? Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm from Shiksha. I just want to know how will we convince our parents that our classes are not about screen time. As you know, the most of the European countries have stopped all this now. In rural areas, we are facing these problems on a daily basis. Like how we can stop this screen time?
Okay. Screen time is a question which comes everywhere. We have to first educate ourselves that all screen times are not the same and all screen times are not bad. Let me just lay it out for you. It is very important that we understand this and also able to explain to the parents. See, nowadays there's a lot of things that students should be kept away from technology and screens. Yeah. Again, here there are 4 different levels. I'm going to explain it to you. Please ensure you understand and then explain it to your parents. One is AI usage. If students are using ChatGPT to get help in homework, that is coming in the way of their understanding. That's bad. If students are using AI to build something or understand how AI works, that's good. So all AI is neither good nor bad, it depends on which AI are you talking about. Similarly, if you look at phone usage, if it is a shared phone for 30 minutes to 1 hour is good. Phone ownership is bad. Why? If a child owns the phone, the moment they own the phone, their Google profile becomes them. When your Google profile is yours, or Insta profile is yours, or Facebook, nowadays no kid uses Facebook, but whatever they're using. If your profile is yours, then you open yourself up to any internet predator because it is your profile and there is no age restriction. But if it is shared ownership, if the phone is owned by the parent, the Google profile is the parents. So there, the internet predators cannot reach to your student. So under the age of 16, I am a firm believer, parents should not give a phone to the child. Child should not own a phone under the age of 16. But child can use a phone under the age of 16. They are two different things. Similarly, social media. Internet is very different from social media. Under the age of 16, no child should be on social media. There are umpteen studies which talk about the psychological and the developmental impact of social media on teenagers. Have you read this book, The Anxious Generation? Anyone? The Anxious Generation. If you are an educator, I highly recommend reading the book, The Anxious Generation. It lays out the negative effects of social media on girls and boys and teenagers. And if you've seen my social media posts, I have been lobbying and writing about India should introduce a social media ban on kids below 16, as Australia has done, France is doing. India has to do it. I hope it comes because the negative effects are very high. But social media is different from internet. Yeah. So when somebody says that हम phone नहीं देना चाहते, हम screen नहीं देना चाहते, you have to be able to separate because if they keep away from technology, you will keep the students behind. But if you just hand over the phone and don't oversee, you will ruin the child. What the parents have to do is either give the child a laptop or a desktop, but if they can't afford their phone, they can share it for 30 minutes to an hour for the purpose of education. Do not allow your child to be on social media. Do not buy a phone and hand it over to them. So those are the negative things. These are the things that should work. If you break up to your parents with clear guidance and they follow it, that's great for students. But don't chunk everything under phone usage or technology or internet or AI because by themselves they are neither good nor bad. It depends on how we will use it. But phone ownership and social media definitely is bad. There are enough research studies. Tell your parents. In our schools, we get parents to sign a code of conduct where they will not give a phone to their child till they are 16. They will share the phone, but they will not buy it with. They are two very different things. Yeah. Okay. I hope I've been able to answer most of your questions, and I hope you will take at least one step this week on the 3 changes we spoke about: AI, NCF, and parents. And I would love to hear next time when we meet in the Shiksha Awards on how was your experience in navigating these changes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
कितना अच्छा सेशन था, बस इतनी तालियां. Let's give it up for Sumit sir. Now with this, we move on to the main agenda of the day, the awards. So we'll start with the state winners. So we'll have the state winners, then we'll move on to zonal winners, and then we move to the national winners. To first present the award for state winners, can I request Mr. Dinesh Reddy and Mr. Vijay Tiwari to please join us? For the 21 people clapping, thank you very much. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'll tell you how this works. When I announce the name of the winner, they will come up on stage. Music bajega, they'll come up on stage.
But while they're receiving their awards, I want you to clap them because it is always good to see the support that we're getting. So while they're receiving the award, you can clap them. You should clap them. And yeah, with your permission, should we begin? We'll start with the state awards for lead schools, starting with Kamal Model School. Can we increase the not the mic volume though? I don't know. Congratulations, madam. You look lovely in this sari. The next state winner for lead school is Mata Sukhdevi Public School. Congratulations. The next school that wins the state award for lead schools is Sairaj Public School. Now we move on to the state winners for Pinnacle Plus. And the state winner for Pinnacle Plus is Sai Millennium Senior Secondary School. textbook. And that is Sapri Public School. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You can enjoy the rest of the event. You know, there's a saying that all. No, what was the saying? How does Jack become a dull boy? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But we thought, I understand. Shiksha Awards 2026 said. But we have some students who are amazing dancers and they wanted to perform for you. Yeah. So from Bharat Bharati Public School, let's welcome our champions to the stage with the loudest round of applause. Arlo. Nervous? What does that mean? Very good. Chalo, all the very best. Whenever you're ready, just give us the thumbs up, okay? Check. Why don't all of you come on stage? Aajao. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I want all of you to be in the center. Okay, take a deep breath, and I will pass on the mic to you. So once you get the mic, you have to pretend, hi, my name is Akarsha. I study in 5th standard, and I like to play or something that you like doing. I like to read. I like to watch movies. Okay, your name, your standard, and what you like to do.
My name is Patty, and
How old are you?
I'm older.
अच्छा, which class are you in?
5th standard.
5th standard. और आपको सबसे अच्छा क्या लगता है?
Playing.
Very good. What's your name?
My name is Niharika Kumar.
And which standard are you in?
I'm in 5th standard.
And what do you like the most?
I like to doing drawing.
Oh, you like to draw? Very nice. Aja. Hello, आपका नाम?
My name is Himanshi Pandit.
Himanshi, what standard are you in?
I'm in standard 5th.
Anybody who's not in standard 5th? ठीक है मतलब. What do you like to do the most?
I like to read.
Oh, you like to read. Very good. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Ayansh.
Ayansh, standard 5th. What do you like to do the most?
I like to play.
What do you like to play?
Karate.
What? Hi, what's your name?
My name is Bhavin Joshi.
Bhagam, what do you like to do the most?
I like to play.
What do you like to play?
I like to play cricket.
Very good. Who's your favorite batsman?
Virat Kohli.
तो दिल्ली में विराट कोहली नहीं बोले तो कैसे चलेगा? आइए. Hello, hi, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Sonakshi Yadav.
Sonakshi, what do you like to do the most?
I like to do singing.
Oh, you like to sing? साथ में मिलकर हम लोग गाएंगे थोड़े टाइम बाद. But since everybody enjoyed your performance, what we'll do is I'll make you the judge. On the count of 3, I want everyone, दोनों हाथ. You have to do 3, 4, 5, and then shout Shaba. Shaba ही आप चिल्ला रहे थे ना? So everybody goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then दिल खोल के Shaba. ठीक है? सबके हाथ ऊपर. हाँ वैसे ही खड़े रहो 10 मिनट के लिए. Everyone, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. हाँ, take 2 करेंगे. शाबाश थोड़ा अच्छे से निकल गया चाहिए. Ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. भाई तो अलग ही मिक्स हो गया. But congratulations, since you performed so very well, we have a special gift for you. Vijay sir, can I please request you to join us on stage? And we have a gift for every single one of you. Alright, can we please have the gifts on the stage? Let's welcome Vijay sir. मेरे लिए क्या मिला? Vijay sir, how good are you at dancing? Since I have got him on the spot, I thought I'd ask him. But let's give all the kids the loudest cheer. Now you can go around, just relax. You performed very well. मैडम, आपका सोना गिर गया. बहुत महंगा अच्छा. अच्छा, not even very much. But well done. Keep up the good work. Now we move on to the next segment of awards. We started with the state awards. Now we move to the zonal awards. Can I please request Vishal sir and Gupta sir, if you could please join us on stage. Deshdeep sir and Vishal sir, let's put our hands together and welcome them to the stage. So this is the zonal awards for Propel, We start with the first school that wins the award, and that is Indo-American Public School. Can we have a round of applause for Indo-American Public School? Congratulations. And the next zonal winner for Propel is Sardar Alam Memorial Secondary School. Thank you. Basically, Vishalji, thank you very much. Please enjoy the rest of the event. And now we move on to the zonal awards, but for lead schools. So can I request Sumit sir, Dinesh sir, and Vijay sir, if we could have all three of you on the stage. Thank you very much. सर क्या मैं आपसे आपका नाम पूछ सकता हूँ? जी सर, जी। सर, थैंक यू। मैं आपसे इसलिए पूछ रहा था बिकॉज आप सबके लिए ताली बजा रहे कंटिन्यूसली। एक बार सर के लिए हम ताली बजाएं। Okay, this is the zonal award for lead school, and our first winner is Acres of Fun. Zonal award winner. Our next zonal award winner for lead school is Ride Public School. Congratulations. Introducing our next lead zonal winner, Chanakya Public School. हमने इसलिए म्यूजिक बंद किया था देखने की काफी तालियों की आवाज आ रही है। The next lead school that wins the zonal award is City Heart Public School.